So Final Fantasy VII, The First Soldier, is out. And I'm not going to lie, it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. I've been playing quite a bit of it. But what we're going to do today is we're going to explore the game a little bit. We're going to look at some of the features that are in the game, look at some of the pros, look at some of the cons, and just kind of review it a little bit. So yeah, let's jump straight into it. Don't forget, if you enjoyed the video, please drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. There's going to be plenty more Final Fantasy VII The First Soldier content coming while we obviously sit here malnourished waiting for Final Fantasy VII Remake news. But let's get on with it. The first thing that a lot of people are going to be coming into this with a view to find is lore. Like, how much lore are we going to get in this game? And the answer is, at the minute, not much. The only thing realistically that we've got so far is this trailer, the opening video that we got released 3 weeks ago that this got released, and that's pretty much it. There's not really anything else that gives us any kind of lore indications about where this story might go, what kind of information we might get in this story. There's nothing that I've found, at least. I would hazard that there is potentially maybe an Easter egg or two somewhere in the game, but I've not found anything yet. Let me know in the comments if you have found anything, but to the best of my knowledge, it is just as it is at the minute. Now, one thing that we have found out is that the story content, is going to come out at the very least with each season of the game, and we'll get into the season soon. But it's not exclusively going to be the seasons. You know, there is going to be the possibility for mid-season content to come out. You know, additional videos, additional lore, extra bits and pieces that we could get. Maybe special events that, you know, some storyline is tied to. So we'll be keeping our ears open for a little bit more information on that. We've not got anything confirmed at the minute. This is just things that I've heard. Hopefully, it's stuff that, you know, comes about, and we get a bit more story, because there isn't really anything at the minute. So let's look at the more technical aspects of the game. Let's have a look at the visuals first. And I'm going to be honest, so far, the visuals have been... they've been passable, but they've been quite underwhelming. Obviously, in the cutscenes and things like that we've got going on now, the visuals are going to be on point. But in the game, we're getting a lot of textures that are failing to load up properly. I'll pop some gameplay footage up now, but seriously, it makes me think of the door in Final Fantasy VII Remake, 100%. Sometimes it's just like a smudge, the texture. It is really bad. Now, how much of that is down to my phone being a few years old? It's 2 or 3 years old, my phone. That is a possibility. It could be that my phone is just struggling a little bit. It could be because I've got the phone Bluetooth into a PS4 pad and mirroring to the PC at the same time as trying to run the game. That could be causing issues. So I'm not going to wholly mark it down as a bad thing. It doesn't really impact the game too much. The only thing that I tend to get is, say, like in the distance when textures start popping in, I think that I'm seeing someone in the distance and wasting a bit of time looking for someone. But on the whole, the graphics are passable. And when they're good, they're good. But they tend to not stay good, especially if you're moving around quickly. You know, if you're getting about run and gunning, you're possibly going to see smudges more than anything. But sound-wise, the music in the game so far has been absolutely quality. Pretty much all of the sound effects are good. I've not really heard anything that's really, you know, sounded out of place or sounded stupid or anything like that. The one thing that's annoying me is the voice on my character. And I keep meaning to change it. I probably should do at some point. So yeah, that's quite annoying. That is quite annoying. Quite annoying. But other than that, the sound's good, the music's good. You can hear the music for the, you know, the main music for the game that'll be playing in the background now. You also can collect other music at the same time, so you'll be playing through the game and you get Shinra packs and things like that, which we'll look at later. You also get a shop that opens up in between the games if you find a specific item out in the world, and that's the Moogle shop, and you can buy things from there. Like I bought the Chocobo music, which is what I've got set as my main one. But you can buy loads of them. There's absolutely loads of them. But there's variety, you've got choices, and the sound is quite good all round, except for my character being annoying. And I suppose it suits, rather. I'm quite annoying, so it probably fits. Now the controls, they're so-so. So-so. Controller support makes things a lot easier. I couldn't imagine playing this game on the actual on-screen, touchscreen controls. Like, no, I really could not imagine that. You do have some occasional issues with buttons not working. It seems that if you end up with too many prompts on the screen at any one time, it kind of messes with what buttons do, and you end up having to just go straight to the touchscreen anyway. So you'll be using your controller, but you'll still need to use the touchscreen every now and again if you want to keep things fluid. That can be a bit of a pain, especially in a tense combat situation. It can lead to some problems. But on the whole, the controls are really good. Like, I did not expect the controller support to work as well as it does, to be honest with you. I'm quite impressed. The issues that I've had have been infrequent. And when I have had them, I've been able to figure out quite quickly what I need to do to fix the issue. I did have a little bit of a concern with materia. I think the tutorial could do a better job of explaining the controls if you're using a controller. Now, when I was playing the tutorial for this game, it just kind of gave me the on-screen prompts. It didn't really give me any commands for the controller. I know I saw a lot of people asking, how do you use materia with a controller? That was a big question. Now, you hold the L1 button, and then you press either R1, R2, or L2, depending on which materia slot you want. So R1 would be slot 1, R2 would be slot 2, and L2 would be slot 3. That's how it works. But it doesn't explain any of this to you in the tutorial. And you can get stuck there for a good few minutes, just kind of like, right, well, I don't know how to use materia. I'm confused, help. Obviously, you can just tap the screen, but if you want to play the game with a controller, you obviously want to know how to do that. So yeah, I think they could work on the tutorial a little bit. That's the first, other than the visuals, that's the first real negative. I think the tutorial could be slightly better as far as controller commands go. Now we're going to get into the one that everyone was kind of worried about, and that's the microtransactions. Now, as far as we can see, there's no pay to win or anything like that. Everything that you can buy is cosmetic stuff. So, as you can see, there's no statistics on top of these. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't give you any kind of additional stats to your weapon. It doesn't give you any kind of damage resistance or anything like that. These are all things that are purely cosmetic and just kind of let you have some fun in the world. Now, the one problem that I do have with it is the way that you acquire these cosmetics if you're not putting money into the game. So I am notoriously cheap, therefore I am not paying any money into this game, and I want to see what you can get just grinding away. Now, I've opened, I think it's about 5 Shinra packs, and I've put a fair bit of time into the game. I wouldn't say I've put a stupid amount of time into the game, but I have put a solid amount of hours into it so far. And I am going to continue just to see what we can get. But on the whole, like the loot that you get in the packs, it doesn't seem as in line with what you can get in the shop, if you know what I mean. And, you know, obviously they're going to do this. I would just like it to be, I'd like there to be a faster way to earn the tickets, potentially. Something like that, maybe. Now, you can get some items and emotes and things like that through the styles that you go through, and each one of these levels up to level 60. And as you can see, there's multiple items in there, including when you get to like the later levels, like level 30 onwards. You start getting a lot of skins for your characters, for your chocobos, for your gear, and that's going to be quite handy. Each class has got its own specific one as well. So, as you can see, different classes have got different gear that you can equip and different emotes that you'll get. You also get these skill tokens here, which you can use to change the skills that you've got on your characters. But in fairness, when you're a warrior, why would you ever want to take rush off? Like, it's broken. It's broken. You also have the Season Pass, which it's got very limited items that you can collect if you don't purchase the Season Pass. The Season Pass costs about 1,000 of the points, I think it is, of the Shinra points. Yeah, so 1,000 points for the Season Pass, which equates to about £8.99, I think you have to buy. I think the £8.99 pack gives you 1,300, let me check that. Yeah, the £8.99 pack, which would give you 1,300 of the credits. So that'd be what you'd have to spend, £8.99 to get the Season Pass. And you do get a lot more stuff. Let me go back to it. You do get a lot more stuff out of it when you've got the Season Pass, but there are some good free items as well. Like, you got some sneaky little bits of gear here and there. You get Shinra packs for free as well, so you can unlock them. You can also get the Shinra... So this is the ways that you can earn the Shinra packs. You can get them via the Season 1 Battle Pass, or you can get them as part of the Mastery that you go through. As far as I can see, they are the only ways that you can get the Shinra packs. There are no other ways to get them, and they are quite infrequent. Like look at the gap there, level 18 to level 32. That's quite a while to go without any kind of possibility to get any of the cosmetics. So it is very much definitely driven to try to get you to spend money to buy cosmetics. It's not something I'm going to partake in. If you're down with that, you're down with that. It has unfortunately become an expected thing with games. Like I remember back in the day, back in my day, when you could, you could unlock all these things through gameplay. That was how you did it. You unlocked modes and skins for your characters and everything you unlocked by playing the game. And it's a shame that it's not like that anymore. But it is what it is. So yeah, getting the shiny things without the microtransactions is pretty solidly impossible. The grind is going to be intense. I'm sure some people will do it and be very successful with it. I'll probably do it and I'll get some stuff. We'll see. But yeah, the way to get all the shiny pretty items in this game is, unfortunately, to spend money. So I think we've covered everything except for one major thing, and that's the gameplay. So let's have a look at the gameplay. Now, the first big thing for it is surprisingly fun. Like, genuinely, I was expecting it to be a bit janky, and it does have its moments, and we'll get into them in a minute. We'll look at the cons after we've done the pros. We might as well finish on a bad point. Why not? But yeah, it is really fun. It is a very fun game, especially when you can get into trios, get into a Discord call so that you can have you can do strategy and stuff like that. You can have a good laugh. You can have a real good laugh with it. The balance between it being challenging and annoying, for me, is about right. Like, I get kills, I do alright. I keep finishing second place in ranked matches. Like, I've not won a solo ranked match yet. I've won a standard match, but the best that I can do is, like, I finish second place with, like, 8 kills, 9 kills. And I just cannot push over the edge and get that win in a ranked solo match. So that's probably going to be something that's happening on stream. So I'll crack on with that. But I feel, while it can be frustrating, sometimes you drop in and you die instantly. For the most part, I feel like I get enough enjoyment out of it to keep on plugging away at it. And that's that's the goal that the game shoots for. It needs to give me enough enjoyment for me to keep playing it. And at the minute, it is. How long that'll last for? Who knows? Depends on what content they keep on adding into it. If they add any additional modes in the future. It's on them how long this stays fresh for. Like I say, the multiplayer is very fun. Trios gameplay, it definitely changes the dynamic. Like in solos gameplay, I'm quite good, I feel. I'm not brilliant, I'm not great, but I'm alright, I'm decent. In trios gameplay, I suffer miserably. And it kind of encourages you to play as the other classes as well, because you can only have one of each class in the game. And this brings me to the next positive, which is the classes. You do have variety in what kind of gameplay you can go for. Now, I'm going to be honest, Warrior's a bit broken, but we'll talk about that in a bit. I've not really tried all of the classes yet. I've still not tried Sorcerer. I didn't like Ranger that much. I felt like the melee attack on the Ranger was a bit too short ranged. It didn't really get out there enough for me. But I suppose with a Ranger, you keep yourself at distance and, you fight that way. I just need to tweak my playstyle for the Ranger, which is something I'm going to work on. Ninja, that's really fun as well. You've got the hide command, which lets you disappear from view for a second. You can be seen still. You've got like a green mist coming off you. That's still visible. But, in a clutch situation, you could use it and get away for a minute, get a cure out, gather yourself, and get going again. I quite like it. Or you could use it the other way and use it to sneak up on people and hopefully get a kill quick and easy. Now, I did say a minute ago, we are going to talk about some of the issues, and one of the issues is, every now and again, it does seem to crash. Now, like I say, that could be my phone, just because I'm using a slightly older phone, I'm doing a load of stuff at the same time, like Bluetoothing and mirroring to my PC and playing the game. It does crash now and again. The good thing is, though, if you reload the game straight away, you will drop straight back into the match at the point that you were at. So, even if you DC, as long as you fire the game up straight away and the match is still going, you will drop in where you were. I'm not sure if there's a time limit on it. There might be a few minutes time limit on it. But yeah, auto reconnect. As long as you open the game straight away, you'll get straight back into the match where you were. So you won't lose your position. It's a nice little feature. I quite like it. I don't know if it's standard across Battle Royale games and things like that because I don't play them. But yeah, I appreciated it. Because a few times it's disconnected me like right at the start of a match while I'm in the helicopter, and it just loads you straight back in. And yeah, I'm a fan of that. Materia is surprisingly fun. Some of it's a bit useless, like Blind, I've not really found too many uses for that. Bio, it's okay if you hit, but if you don't, it's just an absolute waste, obviously. Fire's quite nice. Thunder is a really strong one because it's a massive AoE. Well, it's not massive, but you can use it to put a barrier between yourself and someone, trap them in a location while you either get away or set yourself up into a better position. So yeah, I'm a big fan of Thunder. Big fan of Thunder. Cure is essential. You need that. Blizzard is also essential because you can drop a Blizzard spell and it puts a turret in the position that attacks any hostile targets. That can be amazing if you're in a bad situation. Yeah, the materia, I like the way they've implemented it. I like the way it's quick and easy to use once you know, once you figure it out and go into the controller settings. Obviously, the game should tell you this during the tutorial, but it didn't when I played it. But yeah, it's super fun, the materia. Super fun. And yeah, the final point is the warrior is just a god. Like, the warrior class, it's stupidly overpowered. It is so good, and it's so much fun to play with. You get into real close quarters melee scraps with other warriors most of the time. Because in solos play, I'm pretty sure most people are picking warrior. I don't know why you wouldn't at this point. It is silly. Like, the tracking when you're close in, it can be quite good. It does cause some issues, which we'll talk about in a second. But on the whole, warrior, so far for me, stands head and shoulders above the other classes. And I have seen a few other people talking about how it's overpowered and stuff like that. So yeah, warrior is OP. If you've not tried warrior yet, which you probably should have done, but if you haven't, do. And we're going to start with the cons now. And one of the cons is that the warrior is super OP. It kind of makes it like I as you can see here, I have barely played as the other classes. I've maybe done one match with each of them, a couple of matches as a ranger, a couple of matches as a ninja. But on the whole, I have played as warrior because it is overpowered. It's a useful class. You've got this move here, which fearless is it fearless charge? You got rush, sorry, which closes the distance between you and an enemy. It's insanely quick, insanely quick. As long as you time it right and you use it at the right time, you can put yourself right behind the enemy and just take them out. Melee is silly. Like, melee is so overpowered, especially with the warrior. You just go straight in there and do damage. I'm not saying that the warrior does more damage. As far as I know, all of the melee classes do the same damage when you actually hit. Each melee attack is the same, but it's just the way the warrior can track and keep on top of the opponent. It makes it really good. But that stops you from wanting to try the other classes, or at least it has with me. And it also makes you feel that you're a bit less effective with the other classes. And that can be a bad thing, because, I am less effective with Ranger and stuff like that, because I'm trying to play it like a warrior. So I need to completely readjust my mentality and stop trying to play like a warrior, basically. But yeah, it can be viewed as a positive, because it's fun, but it can also be viewed as a negative, because it can detract from the other classes in the game. So hopefully we see some balancing at some point. I'd like to see the other classes be balanced up rather than warrior be balanced down. I think that would be fun. Now the next thing is the issue that I was talking about earlier with the controller. I hinted to it with the materia issue in the tutorial, but every now and again when you are doing many things at once, the buttons on the controller can just kind of stop working because you've got so many commands that might need you to press square. Square seems to be the one that it happens the most with for me. That definitely causes issues. And you actually have to then use the touchscreen to pick the specific thing that you want, or you have to mess about in game moving items and standing in specific, try and shift yourself into the right spot so that the only thing active on the screen is the thing that you want to interact with. It can be a pain. It is easier to just press the touchscreen button, but it would be nice to get some of these issues resolved a little bit if we can. Maybe like a button that lets us cycle through the instances that are on screen. So say if you've got like a couple of loot piles and then a chest to open, you can cycle between the three. Maybe there is a function like that. I haven't found it yet. If there is, let me know in the comments, please, because you will be doing me a massive favour. It can be a little bit laggy at times. Again, this could be down to my device, but I've seen a lot of other people on stream and people saying about it on Twitter where it can be a bit laggy. You're not getting smooth movements and things like that. I kind of feel like that's going to be down to the issues that we had on launch day because, I don't know if you know, but on launch day, the game was meant to drop at, it was 8 AM my time, it was meant to drop. We actually got into lobbies able to start playing games at about 4 PM that afternoon, my time. It was a solid 8 hours behind. And loads of people have been review bombing it. I think that's bullshit. People need to stop that. The game is good. Stop chill out. It was only 8 hours, you know? Like, I was a bit disappointed at the time, but I'm alive, I've survived it, I'll get over it. But I think a holdover of this is, I don't think they were expecting as many players to just jump on it at that moment in time, and the servers just kind of crumbled. Could have been avoided with a second beta, maybe a public beta, so that they could test things out, maybe just do it for a day or two, but it is what it is. And I think because they kind of had to do a rushed fix on the situation at that point, that could explain why we're still getting laggy servers at the moment. I'm sure over the next few weeks they'll do things to fix it, like maybe drop a patch, maybe update the servers, give it more bandwidth, more capability, able to take more load. But it is just a case of we need to wait and see if these kind of things smooth themselves out. For the most part, the gameplay is smooth though, I will say that. It's just at certain points it gets a bit laggy. I've seen other people having far worse problems than me, which makes me think it could be an NA server problem, and the EU servers aren't too bad. I don't know about the Asia servers, I have no information on that whatsoever. But yeah, we need to wait and see. And then finally, my biggest hate, I hate it so much, but the biggest thing that I hate in this game is the camera. Only in specific situations. It's okay when you're running around out in the open, doing your thing, getting about, not a problem then. It's when you're in close quarters combat with someone, say like you're inside a building or something like that, and you will quickly find that your camera is completely randomly aligned as far as your character goes. So you might be facing yourself with the camera, you know, just looking at yourself like, right, I now have no idea where the person I'm meant to kill is. I don't know where they are. You can't see them. So it's an easy fix. It's such an easy fix. Or, I mean, I say it's an easy fix. It might not be an easy fix. But just let us have the option to assign a button to snap the camera back behind your character. So that all you have to do is press one button, bam, camera snaps right back behind you. That'd fix it. That would fix the problem entirely for me. And it is only in close combat. Other than close combat, the camera's fine. I have no problems with it whatsoever. But when you get into that close melee combat, especially warrior versus warrior, especially if you're inside as well, it's almost unplayable in those situations. You are literally just spamming attacks and hoping that you hit someone. At least I am, because you try to readjust, you get the camera back behind your character eventually, and then you have to dodge again, and then you have to turn, and you lose the camera so quickly. Like, at least in my experience. Let me know if you've had the same experience in the comments below. It might just be me being rubbish. Let me know if I need to get good, because that is the mission. I'm trying to get good. It's not going well, you know? Going alright, but I've still not won that ranked match yet. And I would like to blame the camera, because there have been a couple of... this is where I go off on a tangent and rant and blame the game for something that I did. But genuinely... what's going on with the camera? It was bad, I died. It was awful. It was awful. But it hasn't affected me. I'm fine, I promise. But yeah, that is Final Fantasy VII, The First Soldier. On the whole, I am positive. I am positive about the game. I'm not going to give it a score, because like I've said already, I don't really play Battle Royale games. I've not really played any FPS or third-party, you know, any kind of shooter game realistically. In the last few years, I've played a bit of Fallout 4 a few months ago, that was it. So it would be disingenuous of me to be like, oh, I rate it as this. But I am positive about it for the future. There's a lot of scope for the game. I'm hopeful that we get these story updates that they've been talking about. I would love some sort of private matchmaking feature in the game, you know, so that we can do massive rumbles, sort out a Discord server and just get everybody in there and be like, right, there's 75 of us, let's make a server and go. I think that would be amazing, especially for content creators, because you'd be able to get all of your community into a game with you then. I think that'd be fun. As far as I know, there's no plans to do anything like that, but you never know. It's out there. It might happen one day. Just need to send loads of emails to Square Enix about doing it. Come on, people. Send the email. Send the email. Well, that's going to be the end of my little video talking about The First Soldier. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. Have you played the game? Where are you up to? Like I said, let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know if you've been playing it. But more importantly than anything, have a great day.